those books are so key, and I know they're underutilized. Even if you do go through them, write them down, and then find like a spark notes kind of thing, or kind of skim through chapters that maybe you are considered a weak area in trading. At least do that, because those books, there's a lot of information in there. A lot of information.
Yeah, there is a ton in there to offer for you guys. So any books. Like I know a lot of people they want to do a lot of reading and whatnot, and they want to continue to get all the information. But I think the most important thing is when you're take time to look at books, but also just take time get on the charts.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Application is key. I mean, obviously back testing, marking up charts, sharing analysis, jumping in conversation. That's really what's going to make you best.
Yeah, stay active with sharing your ideas. Stay
Collaboration
active with
is so.
that so that you gotta have that ultra confidence in what you're doing.
I'm just making a post.
Just because someone's idea is a little bit different than yours, it doesn't it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Everyone's
Like,
gonna be looking for different things in the market. That's what we all got to realize.
if anything, if you could learn one or two things from someone else's analysis, that goes a long way. Like, again, Angelo and I share analysis, and sometimes our ideas are different, but I respect his charts, and I know that he's looking at things from a clear perspective as well as I am. So, once you get to that point, you just realize that trading, everyone makes it work for them. You have to
Yeah, it's all
adapt.
about making it work for you, and that's why I think over time people they want to know what the answer is to finding a successful strategy and to all of that, but it really just comes down to shaping the way that you look at things, to let yourself have confidence in what you're doing. So there's no magic pill to that. It just takes time, and it takes time for every person's a little bit different.
You want me to start sharing?
Yeah, you can start sharing.
So we're gonna get into it. So that little pep talk, little real talk.
I would start off with let's start off with the market overview though in the fundamental analysis chat.
All right.
Just briefly go over that so that every week this is what we're delivering
Discord.
to you guys, yeah, in Discord.
Oh, can you see it?
So let's go over that.
Can you see mine or no?
What?
Hold on.
Yeah, no, you're not on the screen.
Is that better?
Yeah. So every single week, what is this? I did not even notice.
So here we are. This is under the premium members section. So these are all the premium channels, and then we have the fundamental analysis. Then, as I was saying, every week we'll give you a weekly overview of all the potential impact events. So, we'll mark it down Monday, Easter holiday, no important news. Tuesday, no important news. Wednesday, we have the, CPIs listed here, production rate, interest rate decisions, so on. Anything major that's going on in the market will be listed here every Sunday, right?
Yeah, the reason why we do this is because during the week, if you wanted to scroll up, we are going to every day drop for the premium members 2 expanded fundamental updates. So we're going to give you an expanded idea on those reports that are coming out, what they mean, because at the end of the day, most amateur traders are reading is that they're high impact, but they don't understand what is the indicator that it's driving for that economy.
Yep.
So it's important to get a more in-depth look at what's going on from that perspective, and that's why we started to bring on more fundamental analysis, like more education around that. And that's why in our course I'll go on, towards the end I'll go through what's offered in these packages and to show you guys like the potential of what you could be learning.
So, according to this, this Monday, Tuesday is going to be pretty low. No real news impact. So this is good to know. Make you aware of, what you can expect for the market in that certain week. And then, as Angelo said, we'll do, 2 fundamental updates a day. So as you can see, like, we did the Euro GBP here on, April 9th. Gave you some updates the day before. We did JPY, NZ. So as news progresses, we'll keep you updated. It's all filtered, and we're interpreting it, accurately based on, what's actually happening prior to these
Cool.
events. So there's a lot of research.
Let's pretty much get started.
Yeah. So guys, definitely a key resource to use. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to start off on DXY as we normally do because we need to determine where the dollar is potentially going for this week, right? So we can accurately make trades. Again, as the dollar makes up for 80% of all trade, it is the most important currency to be looking at right now. So we do have a bit of a 4-hour bearish trend, right? Overall, we're pretty bullish on all these higher time frames. This is bullish here, and this has just been bearish since April 20th, right? Just some lower lows, lower highs. That's pretty much it up until this zone. So this current level, which is, where is it? Price label. This current level right around 99.25. Oops. 99.25. This is the level that's going to determine, this week for us. Either we're going to see a bounce, which we're seeing a bit of a bounce. We're starting engulfing here on a 4-hour. Either we're going to bounce and then, DXY is going to start pushing up again towards this trend line, or we're going to just see momentum push it down slightly to this monthly support here. Either way, it's fine as long as we're playing between this range here, between 101 area and 98.50 area. That's typically where we want to see DXY. We'll see some good structure in other pairs, including USD. So that's basically what we want to see, is just good market structure coming out of DXY this week. We want to get back to normal market conditions. We can't really handle this crazy high volume anymore. It doesn't make for good trades. But right now it does seem like volume is dropping off. We're getting a little consolidation, some lower time frame, good structure, good trends. So yeah, we're just looking for a bounce or a momentum to push lower, and that'll kind of give us a good idea of where USD pairs are going this week. So I think this bounce is definitely more likely, but we'll see. So let's keep going. AU is looking pretty good. We're here on the 4-hour. Again, we had two scenarios that would have played out of this, right? Out of this current analysis, either this 4-hour bullish trend is going to continue, and it looks like it's about to. The MAs are really pushing price action higher. Price action is bouncing off of them very well, so we could see momentum, push it higher through this weekly. In which case, we'll target deeper fib levels like the 88.6 and potentially the 100 level. Or the other scenario was that we saw, after all this indecision, this low volume, price action starts to, drop a little bit. The bears are tapering off. The bulls are tapering off. The bears are coming back into the market and pushing price action lower. I would have target down to the 61 area, the support level around 62, 0.62. So that's likely. We'll see though. Right now this is a pretty key level this weekly. I want to see how price action reacts here. All right, that's basically, so either break, momentum continues, or a bit of a bounce from the 78.6 area. We'll see. And again, the main, the higher time frames are very bearish except for the 4 hours. So keep that in mind. The definite overall sentiment is bearish here. Right, this is the most bullish movement we've seen in a while, especially if you zoom out, look to the left. Right, very, very bearish. This is more or less just a natural retest. Pretty deep fib level, but again, AJ or AU moves a good amount. It's been forming good structure lately, so we'll see what happens. I'll get a nice bounce from this area. All right, so let's move on to AJ. It's something similar. Again, AJ moves very similar to AU, especially in terms of 4-hour structure. We can see that's very overextended, or a very steep trend on this 4-hour as well. Right, very, very bullish. And from here, the key level on this pair is the 67.60 area. So this blue support level right here, we either want to see again a bounce or break. I do think a bounce is more likely here. This does have a good amount of momentum. However, if we did see a break and retest below 67.60, we look to get it on a lower high with strong bearish setups, and then we would target relative or significant support around the 61.8, which is at 65.50. Which is a good amount of pips to be had in this trade if it does play out in this scenario, about 200 plus. Again, we only want to enter on a break and retest, confirmed lower high, strong bear setups, and then we're going to play it back into this range, right? If not, we're still looking for that bounce. This is still bullish until this area is broken, at least on the 4-hour, right? And that's kind of where we're going to be looking right now until these, structure levels are broken, until this 4-hour bullish trend is no longer, and we start to see some bearish transitions. Until then, again, we are very long. Want to see that bounce right? Bit of a pull, more of a pullback, strong bounce, bullish engulfing, something like this potentially. Then we could target higher towards the weekly and so on. Again, 200 pips each direction. So there's a good potential trade on AJ. It does move a lot. As we know, AJ just moves like crazy. So we'll be watching this one. Let's keep going. So the one that I'm really looking at this week is EU. EU is looking really nice. Higher time frames are very, very bearish. All of them, actually. Every time frame for the most part. However, we do have this 4-hour pullback, which is just a retracement to 38.2 level. It is a bit of a pattern here, but it's just this transition happened. It was the first touch. Now we're up to that second touch. Volume has kind of dropped off a little bit. We do have a lot of consolidation in this area. But what does this mean? We could potentially see a drop to this monthly, drop to the 23.6, and I'll show you why on the 1 hour here. So this is looking pretty good. Again, we have that consolidation right at this 38.2. So we know this is a huge confluence area, right? Higher time frame resistance, major higher time frame fib level. We're now on the 1 hour, seeing this consolidation. Price action is looking to make a break, right? We're seeing that volume pick up a little bit, but it is very, very bearish. Right, so we have bearish variation in here. A lot of good movement. We did see closure below the structure level, which is a good sign. However, I do want to see a couple more confirmations. Maybe another engulfing in here would be really nice. Evening star would be really nice to see as well, something like that. And then we can start looking for shorts, breaking out of this pattern, targeting lower. Again, so I want to show you what this would look like if we were to mark up this trade. Again, we're always risking 2%, right? 1 to 2%, stay consistent. The pips, the stop loss doesn't really matter. Again, because we're choosing our lot size based on our stop loss. So it would be something like this. Let's say 70 pips. Looks
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
something actually important to hit on is all you guys joining signal services that put out the pips is bullshit because it doesn't matter the pips. You should be risking similar amounts for all of your trades that you guys are taking, and it's about the percentage gain on your account.
Yep.
So it's about the percentage gains on your account. So if they're saying they made 3 million pips, you don't know what they're recommending you to risk per trade. If it's like 200 pip stop losses, you shouldn't be risking your whole account on one trade realistically, because that means if you lose one trade, you're fucked.
Yep. So that's why we always calculate for every single trade, because every trade is different. Your stop loss is going to vary. We calculate our lot size for that particular trade. So in this would be a custom lot size, 70 pip stop loss, 2.86 risk reward with 200 pips to gain on the table, right? And then we'll factor that in, and 70 pips for a stop loss will equate to 2%, 1 to 2% of our total account. So
Yeah, I mean, we'll just give you the recommended percentage that you should risk, and then realistically, being the human being that you are, the resources are there for you guys. Yeah, use the apps to use your calculator. You guys should have passed simple math in first
yep.
grade.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Like, use your calculator, multiply, fucking. If you have trouble, DM us. You know what I mean? But the recommended amount is 1 to 2% per trade. So that's if you take 3 losers in a row, and then all of a sudden, like Nick just said, you have a winner that's 3 to 1. Oh, all of a sudden, the whole myth about win percentage is gone because you're maximizing your rewards on trades. That's where you got to gain confidence and become, professional in what you're doing.
So here's a good example to touch on is you could have a 75% loss ratio, right? So if I lose 3 trades at 2%, now I'm down 6%. If I win this trade, which is a 3 to 1, I get 6% back. That's 1 winner that equates to 3 losses. So it's all about risk management, right? And that's a terrible risk reward. I mean, not risk reward. It's a
It's all
terrible.
about having a plan. It's all about having a plan. If you guys are sticking to your plan and you're risking the same amounts, then you're not going to lose one trade and you're not going to get discouraged. You're just going to say, okay, let me line up the next position. I'll read a lot of blogs with professional traders where they'll say, I've taken a position at the top of this wedge or something, 3 positions in a row that got stopped out 1%. And then the 4th position, they risk another 1%, and then they get 5%, on the trade. And then all of a sudden you're up 2% on the account. And that compounds. That realistically, 6 months from now, do you want to be up 15% on your account, or do you want to be down 100%?
Yep. Well said. Well said. So let's just keep going on this. This is EU, right? Again, just looking for this break, looking for these lower time frame transitions and bearish setups on the both 1 hour and 30 minute. So we're just waiting for those. And then keep an eye on premium analysis because I will definitely be putting this out today. It's looking like it. So this trade is the closest, I would say, for something that I like to look for in a trade. Same with EJ. Again, it's breaking out of this consolidation area. It's getting through structure. Let's go ahead and bump up time frames for a second. So the key with this is I ideally wanted to see it pull back to a deeper fib level, especially with all this volume, how it's been moving. It'll make a huge push, and then it'll pull back to a deep fib, huge push, huge pullback, right? That's typically been how it's, been acting. Now the overall higher time frames are very bearish. And again, I wanted to see the 61.8 hit this weekly area because that's where the most confluence is. But it looks like we're just reversing at the 50%. We get a bit of a gap. We got some large wicks right at this area. So we could potentially see this start to make the push now to the downside. Again, EU, the euro is pretty bearish. So we could see this push lower. But all we need to see are these lower time frame transitions, lower time frame setups. Right, so here's the 4-hour. This is a good sign. Huge bearish variation, right? Huge bearish candles. This is a good sign. All this in here, these 3 in a row, 4 in a row. Good sign. But, it's still not enough. Still not enough for us. I really want to see, I'll get rid of this. I really want to see something like this. I want to see price action come back. Maybe get through these MAs, form structure on a lower time frame, right? And then I want to see the drop. Huge bearish engulfing, right? That's what I want to see. Huge evening star, lots of exhaustion. Big volume candle that's can't be mistaken. You want to see those conviction candles right after a break and retest because it shows you that hey, this is really going in that direction. This is a bearish continuation. This is going to break out of this area and push lower. So I want to see something like this, right? Something like that. And obviously we'll be updating the premium analysis and so on as this plays out. But I want to be extra careful with this again because it does like to move in these huge swings. And again, this pullback was not as significant as we would have liked to see. So yeah, just be aware of that. That's EJ. Definitely a potential trade though, so we'll be watching. Let's move over to NCAD. I got 2 more, NCAD and gold for you guys, okay? So let's keep going. Here's NCAD. Let's drop to the 4-hour. We can see. All right. So here's the 4-hour. Right, it's bullish on this time frame. This 4-hour, we're breaking resistance, testing support levels. But the higher time frames, monthly's bullish, weekly and daily are both bearish. And then this 4-hour is bullish, as we said, right? So from the current level, we had this large push, right? And now we have this bit of consolidation. So this is looking like it's going to continue higher, in my opinion. To get in a trade, ideally, I want to see a structure level hit, right? I want to see a key fib level. More confluence, the better. So this level makes the most sense for me, the 84.50 area, which is right at key support. The MAs are right there, supporting price action. The 38.2, just where this is forming in this trend, right, 4-hour trend, kind of looking like a flag. So, it just looks like a normal continuation to me. It looks like it has plenty of bullish momentum. So I'm looking for it to take a trade based on this level here. And I would like exactly for it to follow this, this line, right? We get a drop lower, it wicks this area. Then we get a bullish engulfing, boom, I'm in, right? Through an MA cross. Plenty of confirmation. I'm taking that trade 10 out of 10 times. Let's go ahead and mark it up just for the sake of visuals. So it'd be something like this, right? Looking to get about 100 something pips. Call it 100. Oops, where'd it go? Call it 100, and then we're well protected. This isn't even that deep of a stop loss, but I'm going to put it outside the 200 here. I'm going to call it 35 pips. Okay, so what is this trade now? This is 2.86 risk to reward. We're risking 35 pips to gain 100. This could be a really great trade potentially, and we're just waiting for those confirmations. We're already close. We're in the area we want to see, right? I just want to see that 1 hour bullish engulfing. 1 hour wick of the 38.2, and then we're in. Then we're looking to go long. So that's NCAD, looking pretty good. And then I'm going to wrap this up on gold for you guys. Very, very bullish. Very, very bullish, as always. Let's go to the daily to start.
What gold?
Right?
Yeah, obviously gold's been surging. It's at a crazy level though.
So right now it's in a pretty key area. We want to just figure out where it's going next. So we have two scenarios. Well, first off, all major time frames are bullish, right? And from the current level, we have two potential scenarios. The main key level here on this 4 hour time frame, 4 hour trend is this 1640 area, right? So we're either going to see this area tested again, and then a bounce from this area will happen, and the momentum, the bullish momentum will just continue, push price action back up to higher time frame resistance levels, potentially even the 1800 level, which is very far away. A lot of pips in that. It's almost an 8% move in itself. Or we see a break of this level, which is lower time frame structure, and then we'll start to target down to the 1550 area. Potentially enter short on a lower high with strong confirmations. If this does happen, expect to see something like this over here on the left. Maybe a double top, maybe just a lower high, and then a play back down to these lower support levels. Again, the 1550 level, or potentially lower towards the weekly around 1515. Just look for that. Again, this key area here, 1640, is going to play a big part in where this current price action is going to go. Either a bounce or a break, right? And we'll see. We'll see. It does look like it's forming a bit of a ascending wedge, though, on a 4 hour, which isn't great. It's showing weakening in the trend here a bit. But then again, it is gold, so it's going to move a little differently. It is a safe haven. Times are uncertain. People want to hold gold. So, yeah, just be aware. Just be aware of this 1640 level, guys. I know I posted analysis, and we'll keep you guys updated along the way as this trade progresses. So, yeah, bounce or break, guys. Bounce or break. That's what we're looking for. All right, so that's what I covered for you guys. Here's a quick recap. DXY, AUD USD, AUD JPY, Euro USD, which is looking really great. Just to go over this again, looking for that lower time frame transition right at this structure level, right? And then we're going to look to make a play to the downside. And then we also got EJ, similar, NZ, CAD, and gold. So that's what I prepared for you guys. Right? All right.
So again, Nick is going to update all of the pairs that we just went over in the premium analysis for you members. For people that aren't in there, it's only $7 to get in there. So premium analysis, he's going to update not when he's going to enter, but basically like these higher time frames when he sees a setup, some sort of engulfing or something that he's looking for. We'll post the lower time frame analysis where the entry potentially will be. And then obviously for the signal people, we'll put the signal into the chat when it's ready.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that was, that was a good amount. This guy's a question. What are the black, red, and blue lines, and how do you add them? So he's talking about the moving averages.
Moving averages. So you can add them through indicators, right? I have them built in on favorites already. So moving average exponential. So the exponential is the EMA. So I have two of those. One is set to 8. The period is set to 8 and then close. And then my second one is 200 to close. And then my normal moving average, just this one, is 18 to close. And I'll use them, as confirmations. If I see, a cross, typically means the trend is changing, or the sentiment for price action on that time frame is changing. I'll also look for them in conjunction with structure levels. Also, if I do see a cross, I'll consider it for an entry, just another confirmation. So yeah, we go over quite a bit. Moving averages play a pretty big part in our strategy.
Yeah, what they mean, the 8 means 8 days, so the average of the last 8 days. The 18, obviously the average of the last 18 days for that price. And then 200 days is sort of like the last line of defense. That is definitely a key level of resistance or support that comes into play, especially after huge pushes to, one side of the market. As you could see here, on gold, this was retested all the way back in March or whatever, the 200-day, and that was sort of like the last line of support there. So they're definitely useful. I would try to bring them onto the charts. The one we use, like Nick said, is 8 EMA, 18 SMA, and then 200 EMA. So if you guys want to, throw those on and experiment with them, definitely, give it a try. And some of the homework examples that we give, focus on doing exercises around understanding, because it's important. You don't want to add an indicator on the chart without practicing using it. So you wanna gain some experience with it. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'm about to share up. When can we enter on gold? I would just say be patient, bro. Like, what are you bugging about?
I just covered it. So, again, the 1640 level is important. Right now we're waiting. So
Yeah, there's no reason to be
I don't have
bugging.
a crystal ball.
Yeah,
I
just chill
wish.
out and wait. We're given a lot of stuff in the analysis and stuff like that. If you're not in there, just wait up in the regular chat and see what's good, and we'll send out some updates for you guys. All right, so let's minimize this. You see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So there was actually some good movement. I wasn't looking yesterday just because of Easter, but there was some good there was actually some decent movement yesterday in the market, surprisingly. Let's start off on USD CHF. I'm just gonna bring up this chat real quick. I mean, new iPhone too. I'm gonna bring up this chat real quick. So going into this week, I've just been looking at USEF overall, very bearish. Let's head up to the weekly. Very bearish, but at the same time, last time we had a huge bearish push, we had this huge bullish momentum, coming off, and that was definitely more at a weekly key level that we were looking at. It was more of like a demand zone at that point that it found some support at. Now this is what we're really looking at now is we had this new lower low, we had this lower high at the supply zone, came back into the supply zone, had another lower high there, that we were taking some shorts out of. So, but we're starting to get some momentum here. We got the moving averages cross, we got a bearish engulfing here, last week, or I guess, yeah, Friday closed with a doji. So slowing up, doing some candlestick analysis right now. What I see is we're slowing up right now. Now we're getting a little bit of bullish momentum. But let's, like we do, continue to use our top-down approach, go down to a lower time frame where we can see structure a little bit more clearly. As we head down to this 4-hour time frame, we had a break of structure right here. Boom, we had a break of this level. Obviously, that was retested over here. This is where we got into some short positions, and we were maintaining it now. So overall in this 4-hour, that's why I have my fib here. This is where I identify my trend. Like we talk about, as we hit these deeper fib levels, we're not going to just shoot from 88.6 to 0 or to our projection. We're going to trend. We're going to be trending. That's the point of a healthy market, is to be trending. So basically right now, what I would do, considering moving averages are across on the 4-hour, obviously we've been bearish on the weekly, bearish on the daily, now we're looking at the 4-hour, we're bearish on the 4-hour. So we're going to continue to jump down time frames until we see structure a little bit more clearly. Now we're down to the 1-hour, time frame. We have this low, and again, we're focused because we went from the 4-hour, the daily to the 4-hour. Now all we're focused on is this trend, this push, because we know exactly where we're at. So we have this low, we have this lower high, we have this low that formed. We had a little bit of a descending triangle, that broke out of, that failed. So what we're looking at now is we're looking at scenarios in this range. So right now we are at this low. We try not to take positions at these lows unless we see some sort of pattern, these continuation patterns that come at the end of this. We didn't get anything confirmed with that. And right now, what I'm waiting for ideally is for price to come back up, retest this support, now turn resistance. If we were to bring on a fib and fib this, fib from our lower high to our new low, this is our 618 area. So this is really the most ideal situation for me, is I'm looking for a pullback to this area, look for some sort of bearish confirmation, and then we'll short lower. So that's my idea right now in USEF. Obviously, if we break all the way above here, we break above our 200-day moving average, break above that, we'll evaluate some different positions, but this is what we're looking for. What time frame do you use fibs? So we're actually going to do a webinar tonight. We have a bunch of questions that we're going to go through. For you guys that don't know, I'm going to actually pull it up really quickly. So for you guys that don't know, we're gonna go through these questions tonight, actually, with everyone submitted these questions, 15 of them. We're gonna rip through them in like 1 hour or so. And we'll go over fibs in this too. Everyone's been asking questions about fibs. We're not gonna get too in depth to it because obviously that's what our course is based around. Um, but we'll touch on it. We'll touch on fibs. People ask a lot of questions about that. So this is USEF. Let's go over to NU. Obviously, this is higher on my list right now because of the fact that we're on such a low time frame. Let's take a look at NU. So let's be on the 4 hour. Let's start up actually on the daily time frame. So daily time frame, I'm gonna get down to a few cool things to look at on NU actually, but daily time frame, is bullish. Last week we closed, above this resistance level. That now we're doji, and we're really looking to confirm that this level is broken at this point. So as we go down to the 4 hour, we're seeing a lot of consolidation, just broke above the 200-day moving averages, but still pointing down. So we need closure above this. We need closure above this level for today. Obviously, we go to today's candle, we have 8 hours left. So we have two 4 hour candles left. So we got to see some sort of closure above this level really to confirm how bullish we are. If not, what I will look for is if we get a break below here. And again, we're always forecasting multiple scenarios. We're not trying to be right or wrong. We're just trying to win. We're just trying to win the trade that we're in. So we're not too concerned about whether we know exactly where we're at. We're just trying to get in on a high probability position over and over again. We're not trying to sit here, have sweaty hands and everything like that. So right here, I had this fib down here, which is important. So we're hitting these projection levels. And I just want to go over real quick, as I went down to the 1 hour, I recognized this was like a great thing. I just didn't get in on it because I didn't see the confirmation, but I wrote out this flag, right? There was this flag forming on the 1 hour. We were below this level. I was like really assuming that we'd get into this zone. I took on this arrow. Normally after the flag breaks, like the position will go the length of the flagpole. So this was the flagpole. Here was the push. So this is just a good example. These patterns do come into play. There's something that you should definitely look for, over and over again. And that's why it's important for you guys to study those. And I know for me, I didn't actually start looking at patterns until I met Nick, which was about like a year into trading. So yeah, definitely, important to be studying those, for sure. Let me see. Yeah, I think you're muted, Nick. I'm gonna mute you. Ooh, it's not working. So yeah, definitely study up. Study up on your patterns. If you guys aren't looking at them, make it a habit. You guys getting into trying to recognize them, practice on the back test, whatever. So yeah, so this is NU 4 hour time frame. Obviously, two positions. We're gonna be patient. Right now, we're just consolidating. We want to be in a trending market. We want to be in a trending market. Be trading within that. So NU, obviously, move down on my list for now because we're just up on the 4 hour with that. GU. So it looks like GU actually made some movement based on the analysis that was put out. I know we had a couple of people talking about GU being bearish, but what you got to understand with GU is all the way up to the weekly. One last week closed with a bullish engulfing, so more buyers than sellers in the market. Definitely key. Daily time frame. Basically, what we're looking at right now is daily had 4 bullish candles in a row, cross through the moving averages. Look at the moving averages pointing up, ton of momentum, and then 3 bullish candles in a row here, which is 3 white soldiers. It's a bullish variation. Look it up. But what I was looking at is this is a level of resistance right here. And we're right at that level, obviously. A lot of people had ideas about rejecting this level, but there's so much bullish momentum right now. There's so much bullish momentum, broke above these 200-day moving averages. And also, look at this. This is a flag that had formed that we broke out of, very similar to what we were just looking at. I'm just going to take these off. Look at this flagpole. This flagpole was huge, obviously, ton of momentum with that. If we were to bring this on and hypothetically use this as a projection, out of our flag, it's like, whoa, where are we going? where are we going? So, a lot of momentum from the bottom there. Could we continue to push higher? We got to maintain around all of these levels that's going on. Let me just bring this back into focus. So basically, what I'm ultimately looking for until I get into a position is I'm really looking for closure above this level. Again, 8 hours left, two 4 hour candles. Look what's going on right now. We broke out of this 4 hour downtrend, broke here. This was really where the buys started to take place right here, this retest. And then this was all buys. This was that flag, mini flag on like a lower time frame right here. So we had the break above, then we had this mini little flag that broke above, continued higher. So back up to the 4 hour, because you mainly want to focus on this for now. 4 hour time frame opened up lower, people thinking, oh, we're gonna reject this level. Boom, closed above. So a lot of bullish momentum. Now all we're looking for is a retest, like we're getting right now, and we're looking for support. We're looking to find support at this level. So if we do end up closing pretty much like above in this area, like anywhere above this blue line, in the next two 4 hour candles, then we're going to be bullish into this blue zone up here. Let me bump back up. What is this blue zone? This blue zone is major. It's previous monthly support or resistance, previous key level. But look at the 200-day on this daily time frame. This is the average of price for the last 200 days. Obviously, very bullish. I can totally see this being retested. So 4 hour or GU though, I'm still in the 4 hour, so I'm gonna move this down my list. Obviously, like intraday, not looking for anything too particular. I'm waiting over the next 4 to 8 hours to see how obviously things play out. So I'm gonna mark this as red. Now let's come on to UJ. UJ has been playing out perfectly. I just didn't have the opportunity to take advantage of it because I wasn't trading yesterday. But weekly time frame last week, look at this huge candle, huge pin bar or whatever, large sellers or buyers exhaustion right there. Moving averages are crossed. Extremely bearish, very bearish. Down to the daily time frame, we're just in this fib. We're in this fib, made a new low, hit 88.6. Again, we're going to be trending, not going to go to zero right away. Hit some support at this level, which is a 4 hour key level, and we bounced up, and then now we're finding that rejection. And let's go down, bump down time frames. This is the 4 hour. Ideally on the 4 hour, it is actually interesting. The 4 hour to me is still bullish. I have this high or low, and then we made these highs. These were all very insignificant levels that were broken. And then ultimately we found support here. And then now we're finally finding resistance based on that higher time frame, being bearish. So ultimately, what I'm looking for is for levels on this 4 hour to be broken, and that's what came into play right here. We had this pullback, this higher low that had formed, broke above, and then we just broke some structure right there. So that was what we needed to break. That was to open the week right here. That was sort of what we were looking for. But I always like to kind of let the first few hours play out. I'll either look at how the first hour candle closes and just be very aggressive and get in on a position, or I'll just be patient and kind of wait till today and look for trades. So out on this 4 hour time frame, the next level that needs to really break for us is this highlighted zone. This is based on support here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance, support, support. So this is our next key level on the 4 hour that really needs to break for this daily to then enter down to this weekly level again. So we're going to maintain our selling into that level intraday, hopping onto the 1 hour. Again, we don't necessarily give a fuck about anything else back here. 1 hour time frame, bearish, trending right now, right? That's what we got to look at. 1 hour opportunities, at the moment we're at a low. We just had this bearish engulfing, but we want multiple confirmations. I want to pull back, like Nick was kind of talking about on his trades, is I want to pull back to these higher levels. See how this hit 38.2 and this resistance and rejected, and then we got multiple different entries here, just like this double top here and everything. So we're gonna fib this new level We're going to fib this new area down here, and we're going to look for, again, pullbacks where we have multiple confirmations. Ideally, this is definitely a resistance or support turn resistance up here. If we're looking left, obviously this is a support level that was hit as well. So I'm looking to be a little bit more patient with this, looking for a deeper pullback so I can protect myself. Right now, if I were to short all the way at this low, I'd either be mad aggressive, get stopped out very quickly, or I'd have to put stops all the way up here, as opposed to if I wait, I get a pullback, I can use this, I can use this 120% level, use this level of structure to protect myself, and then my risk reward becomes way more favorable. So I'm gonna move UJ up the watch list. I'm gonna keep UJ on my radar. We'll see how it plays out, see how we hop up and everything over the next like couple hours or so. And then last pair is UCAD. So UCAD is at an interesting level. Again, we've gone over this week, like day after day. We're in this supply zone up here based on this weekly, based on this weekly time frame. We're finding a lot of rejection. Last week closed bearish engulfing, significant. Down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame, obviously very bullish, and then ultimately we formed this like higher low here. A lot of very weak with this comeback here. We're just finding a lot of rejection. That's why we shorted. And now ultimately we need to break this level of support. But let's go down to the 4 hour, see things a little bit more clearly. So this is what I was talking about. 4 hour formed this higher low right here. Pulled back up through, failed, and then we broke below. These were all sells, sell, sell, sell. So we got ultimately sold here, based on the lower time frame, based on this 4 hour engulfing. Ultimately sold there. Maintained some trades, got out of some trades, but ultimately now we're back at another 4 hour level. Resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. So this level needs to be broken. We need a break below this, a break below this, then a retest, and then we'll look to go short. We're finding some bullish. We pop down to the 1 hour. Market open, very bullish. At that level. So we're just gonna be patient right now. We're gonna be patient. If I were to just pop on here and put out a little bit of a descending, triangle right here going on. So ultimately, I'm looking for this to break below. If we can break below there, and again, I'm going to monitor this on the 4 hour time frame. Not going to be hugging this that tightly. Like, put this as red because we're still in the 4 hour. So we're going to wait for the break, below there. If alternatively, if we see a break really all the way above here. I'm gonna be pretty patient on this one. If we see a break all the way above here, see the 200-day, that'll come into play. Then we could potentially look for some longs, like back into this demand zone. But I'm not too thrilled about that idea, so I'm not gonna really put that out there. I'm more thinking that we're gonna continue to fall off. So that was UCAD. Let's go into GJ to wrap this up. GJ has been in a very similar area for quite some time now. Weekly time frame, this was a huge move that was caught, out of this weekly lower high. Now we found support at this low and we're coming back up, but it's important for us to recognize that we are at this weekly key level of resistance. We're still below this moving average, but we are getting a lot of bullish momentum. Look, again, 3 bullish candles, those 3 white soldiers on the daily we talked about. 3 white, yeah. So we're getting those again. A lot of bullish momentum at the moment. So we really want to hop down to the 4 hour. 4 hour time frame, very bullish. Highs, higher low, high, higher low, forming some highs. Now we're getting a pullback. Ultimately, until this level is broken, we're bullish on this 4 hour time frame, which is very significant. But it really depends how we want to play this, because this weekly key level, a lot of times, I'll take trades out of this level. And if I'm going to be doing that, I'm pop down to like a 1 hour, and I'm going to monitor a 1 hour a little bit more closely. And ultimately on the 1 hour, what I'm seeing is if this level is broken, then I'm going to look for a little bit of a retest. And I'm going to short down into that 4-hour level, key level that we just had marked. So this is a little trade idea intraday. If something like this goes down, I'm going to look for that. But on the flip side, on the 4-hour, if I am going to long this, I'm going to wait for a break above this, retest long, because of how this is a huge bearish confirmation area. Weekly resistance, moving averages on the higher time frame still cross below them. So I got to wait for a lot of confirmation to get bullish on this. But ultimately, if we can get on the lower time frame, considering on the higher time frame we're bearish, if we can get this break, of 1-hour structure, then we will definitely short this into this lower level. So that's GJ. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over for you guys. Again, all this analysis is going to be posted. If you guys have any questions, we're going to be going through, this webinar later today. We're going to go through this webinar. We're going to answer all these questions for you guys that you guys submitted. For the giveaway, we're actually about to do the giveaway again because the person that won the giveaway didn't even respond. So he missed out big time on the giveaway. He won $50 and didn't even hit me up. So we're about to do the giveaway again. I'm going to do it for somebody else, somebody new. I'll pick that again. And yeah, these are all the questions, that are going to be answered. We're going to do the live trading session again tomorrow. So tomorrow, again, we're going to hop on. We're going to be trading live for you guys. And yeah, I don't know what's up with your mic, Nick, but it's like not letting me unmute you. So I don't know. I would maybe rejoin or something. But yeah, so I'm going to just go over real quick for you guys. Obviously, the packages that we have, we got the $1 thing going on right now. We got 50 people, in there for an entry. We got 50 people in there. Obviously, we've been live with that. Last week we ended up plus 1.8%. Nothing crazy, but at the same time, like I said, we're thinking long term here. We're not worried about the pips, guys. We're not worried about I gained 5 million pips. Like, we got to know what the stops are. The stops are gonna determine what your risk is, on these trades. So we gotta be mindful of what we're our position sizes, like what we're according to our account. If you have $100 account and you're trading with, you're using 20% of that account to try to grow it, then realistically you're gonna lose like 2 trades in a row. You're gonna be down $50, and then you're gonna think trading sucks. You know what I mean? So you
It's
got to
more
be
damaging to
realistic.
the psychology than anything
Yeah, you
else.
got to be realistic with what's going on. If you, the best thing I can advise for you to do is to worry about having a plan, percentage gains, getting confident in the trades that you're taking. And ultimately, if you only have $100, your goal should be to go for the funded accounts, for the FTMO challenge, to go get a funded account, to worry about your skill so that you can become valuable enough to get that capital, because you're not going to make it anywhere with $100. Let's be realistic. Like, these guys posting 100 to 7K accounts, they're probably blowing $2,000 accounts in a row is what you guys got to realize to get that one result of that one account.
True.
And that's not you. That's not you, and that's not realistic. They got money to blow on that spend for marketing or whatever those purposes. So, you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic with what you're looking at. And, again, if you guys got questions about anything going on, if you guys are interested, in the actual course, feel free to reach out. We're going to have a special going on pretty soon. It's going to be pretty big. There'll be limited spots. And, obviously just hop over testimonials. You could see what people are saying about things that are going on inside the course. That's if you need direction. If not, if you just need some analysis, this is free. This is all free right here for you guys that are in here, and hop on, look at what we're looking at. We're going to update some of them for you. The updates are going to come in this channel. So this is $7. If you guys want in, it's one-time fee, $7. All of our updates for the live sessions are going to be in there, and that's pretty much it. So obviously, thanks guys for hopping on. If Nick, you got any final, remarks you want to add?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. This is definitely, a great package as an entry level package to get into. Again, it's only $7. You get all of our, pre-trade analysis, as well as access to all the fundamentals. And there's just a lot in this Discord, guys. Definitely get in here, at least to just, utilize these free resources.
Yeah, because
That's
we're just trying to
exciting.
build a positive community for you guys, and that's pretty much it. So this has been recorded. This will be uploaded soon, and have a good rest of your day, rest of your night, depending wherever you're at, and continue to stay safe with the coronavirus going on. I
Mhm.
wish you guys all the best of luck.
All right, guys. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of the day. Happy trading.
Peace out.